Hey there guys, so finally after all the ducking that's been going on in the light heavyweight division surrounding contender Oleksandr Gvozdyk, he's finally getting a shot at a title now. Granted it's going to be the WBC Interim title, but if the champion then refuses to fight him and he holds that interim title, he'll be elevated to full champion, so finally he's getting a title shot. I mean, for those of you who have been following this guy's career will know that Marcus Brown was supposed to fight him in an eliminator. He pulled out, refused to take the fight. And more recently, Elidia Alvarez, who has been the WBC mandatory for well over 2 years, was also offered to face Oleksandr Gvozdyk for this very same title, but he pulled out. And the replacement opponent is going to be French former European champion Mehdi Amar. Now, Mehdi Amar is a fighter I've actually made a couple of videos about before. I remember when I first heard about Mehdi Amar, it was when he was set to fight Robert Stieglitz, who's one of my favourite fighters, who I've been a fan of for years. And that fight took place in, was it 2016 or 2017? I can't remember. I made a prediction video for the fight. I can't remember whether it was last year or the year before. It may very well have been the year before. Yeah, I think it was actually. And yeah, Robert Stieglitz, he won the fight by a dominant unanimous decision. He won pretty much, well, not every round, but he won most of the rounds from what I remember. So, yeah, and like I said, Robert Stieglitz was one of my favourite fighters who was competing for Mehdi Amar's European title at the time. So Mehdi Amar, he's a fighter who we know is level. I mean, he's a big, tall, fundamentally sound, decent boxing skill, light heavyweight, but he's really nothing special. I mean, Robert Stieglitz is a fighter who's considerably past his prime, who isn't a puncher at light heavyweight. He was a decent puncher at 168, but at 175, he's really not a puncher. He's a little bit punch drunk at this stage and has had hand injuries, so the fact that he was able to dominate Mehdi Amar isn't really a good look going into this fight. So I think this is pretty much a formality. I think that Oleksandr Gvozdyk is going to destroy Mehdi Amar, and I see him picking up that WBC interim title. And whereas this video is a prediction of sorts, I don't really just want to talk about this fight. I want to talk about what this means for the light heavyweight division. So like I said, I strongly believe that Vosdek is going to win the fight, and I think he's probably going to stop Mehdi Amar. I just think that this is a formality. What is this going to mean for the light heavyweight division as a whole? Because Adonis Stevenson, who is the WBC champion and who has been since, 2013 when he won the title against Chad Dawson, it's been several years now since he faced a mandatory challenger. I think the last time that he faced a mandatory challenger was when he fought Tony Bellew in 2013, and that was I think his second defence of the title, and he's made several defences since. And yeah, so I think it's a little bit confusing how he's still the champion. I mean, why hasn't the WBC forced him to face a mandatory? I know that he has, been in talks and negotiations with Elidia Alvarez in the past, but since the two guys are affiliated with the same promoter, the fight never materialised. But you would think that the WBC would have, stepped in and forced the fight to happen, or stripped Adonis Stevenson. So I don't really see Adonis Stevenson. Let's say Oleksandr Gvozdyk wins this interim title. I don't see Adonis Stevenson taking on Vosdek next, especially not since he's 40 years old, hasn't shown any ambition at all since winning the title. And he's going to be, like I said, he's going to be fighting Badou Jack next. So according to reports, that's the fight that's going to be taking place next, which is pretty much just a money fight for Stevenson. It seems like he wants to get a name on his record before he retires, and I don't really think that Stevenson will be around in the sport much longer. I think he's just looking to cash out, to be honest. So I can't really see Oleksandr Gvozdyk getting his hands on the full WBC champion. I think what's going to happen is, I think he's going to be elevated to full champion. Certainly if Adonis Stevenson wins that fight. I'm not 100% sure about Badou Jack, because Badou Jack, as you guys know, vacated his WBA belt to avoid Dimitri Bivol. That was another duck that went on in the light heavyweight division. So it's going to be interesting to see if Vosdek gets elevated to full champion, because I really don't think that Stevenson or Badou Jack are really keen on taking that fight. I know that Bob Arum is quite keen to see Oleksandr Gvozdyk get in the ring with Kovalev, who's the current WBO champion. He was actually saying that he was going to petition to the WBO to make Oleksandr Gvozdyk the mandatory for that title, but it looks like that hasn't happened because he's going the WBC route. But you know, that'd be an interesting unification. You know, you've got a Ukraine versus Russia rivalry. Obviously, you've got Dmitry Bivol, who's defending his WBA title against Sullivan Barrera. That's a really good fight. I might make a video for that one. You know, I'm really excited about this light heavyweight division, man. I think it's going to be a really interesting division for the next couple of years. I think Adonis Stevenson, man, like I said, he's on his way out. You know, he has no ambition. Since he won the title, he hasn't had any ambition at all to take any big fights. And I honestly think that this Badou Jack fight that's being talked about, it's just for the money, in my opinion. I really would question Adonis Stevenson's desire going into the fight, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Badou Jack for the win there, because I just think that, you know, with a 40-year-old Adonis Stevenson who's been out of the ring for a while, who's been inactive, who, like I said, hasn't faced a serious opponent in years, I just think that Badou Jack right now, his reflexes will be a little bit sharper. You know, he's going to be going into the fight looking to become a... well, saying that, he's already a two-division champion because, like I said before, he won the WBA title, but he vacated it. That was after he defeated Nathan Cleverly. And, yeah, I mean, it was one of the most shameful ducks. You know, one of the most blatant ducks I'd ever seen. He literally just gave the belt up as soon as he won it. So, yeah, and that was all to avoid Dmitry Bivol. So, yeah, there's a lot of ducking going on in the light heavyweight division, but there's also a lot of entertaining matchups that are being made. Like I said, you know, Oleksandr Gvozdyk, say he wins this WBC title, I'd love to see a unification with Kovalev, man. I mean, that'd be an amazing fight. Or a unification with Bivol, or perhaps a unification with Artur Beterbiev, who's another Russian. And yeah, you know, this light heavyweight division, it looks as if for the near future at least, it's going to be dominated and controlled by Eastern Europeans, which is a good thing because these guys, you know, they ain't like these Americans and these you know, these Western fighters. I mean, these guys have actually got balls. You know, they'll fight each other, and we may see some big unifications. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Anyway, this Mehdi Amar fight, I see Oleksandr Gvozdyk knocking him out. I don't know what round, but I see it happening. I don't think that Mehdi Amar is on that level. Like I said, he was dominated by a completely washed up Robert Stieglitz. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I like Robert Stieglitz. He's one of my favourite fighters, but you know, he is considerably past his prime, and he's a natural super middleweight who moved up in weight and dominated Mehdi Amar. So I'm expecting Oleksandr Gvozdyk to stop Mehdi Amar, and if he doesn't stop him, I'll actually be surprised, and that'll raise questions about Vozdek's power at world level if he's not able to stop this guy. So, you know, let me know what you guys think anyway. This is an exciting development in boxing. You know, I don't really know what else to say. It's been a while since I made a video, but I just wanted to talk about this one. Videos I'm planning to make in the future. Like I said, I might do a video for the Dmitry Bivol Sullivan Barrera fight, because I really think that's a great fight and a great step up for Dmitry Bivol. You know, that's going to be his first, you know, real live legitimate challenge in his career. You know, somebody who can really test his chin. And I'm really looking forward to that one. So I may make a video about it eventually. And yeah, you know, obviously I've already done a video for Sergey Kovalev. He's going to be fighting Igor Mikhalkin, the IBO champion, to defend his WBO title. That's going to be a decent fight too. But I'm picking Kovalev to win by knockout. Don't get me wrong. I said that in the video. But I think that Mikhalkin is a little bit more dangerous a fighter at this stage than Mehdi Amar is, so it's a slightly better challenge. But let me know what you guys think anyway. Thanks for watching.